Hello and welcome to Big Orbit's Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James and I will be going through the new cards shown throughout the past 7 days. Now this video is going to have a lot of Bermuda Triangle cards in it because of the new clan booster coming out. So to start off, there's actually some quite interesting support, and this is for Reindeer, if you remember the old grade 3. So Peaceful Voice Reindeer is a new grade 3, 11k power, and on the Vanguard circle once per turn, when your drive check reveals a grade 3, you may put a card from your hand into your soul. And if you do, you choose up to one of your rear guards, put it to your hand, and if you have a card in your soul named Velvet Voice Reindeer, you get an extra drive check. And on the rear guard circle, she has another skill. At the end of the battle that you drive checked a card with Reindeer in its card name, if this unit is stood, you may counterblast 2 and move this unit to the Vanguard circle, and it gets drive check -1 until the end of the turn. So the way that this works, because it just moves from one place to the other, if you drive check triggers and give the effects to her while she's on the rear guard circle, she will keep those effects while being on the Vanguard circle. So any extra criticals or power will be still applied to her. And as is the theme of the SPs in this set, we also get an alternate art of her in the SP version with her in her wedding dress. To continue the reindeer support, we have Inspect Sisters Roble, a grade 2, and in the trigger zone she gets +1 grade, making her a grade 3 and activating Reindeer's effect. Then when Roble's attack hits on the rear guard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Reindeer in its name, you may Soul Blast 1 and put Roble into the bottom of your deck, and then draw 2 cards and shuffle your deck. Going back into the deck and shuffling gives you even more chances to drive check your grade 3s, which gives you more chances to activate your skills. Then the second half of the sisters is Dash Sisters Rabble. She's a grade 1, and on the trigger zone she gets +2 grade, and when she's on the rear guard circle, when your Vanguard's drive check reveals a grade 3 and you have a Reindeer Vanguard, you may put this card to the bottom of your deck and draw a card, and countercharge 1. So the countercharge 1 is especially useful for Peaceful Voice Reindeer's rearguard skill, considering it counterblasts 2, and that's quite a lot. So this is a good way to recharge, seeing as if you had 4 Roble, 4 Rabble, and 4 of each Reindeer, that's 16 grade 3s, so there's a pretty good chance you'll be able to activate her abilities. Now a new generic grade 3 is Hidden Sparkle in Chest Speaker. She's got Harmony, and on the Vanguard circle and rear guard circle, she gets a Generation Break 1 during the battle phase. When your unit is placed on the rear guard circle, both Speaker and that unit get +2000 until the end of the turn, and also another skill on the Vanguard circle or rear guard circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if Speaker is in Harmony, you may Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 to choose one of your rear guards in Harmony and return it to your hand, then call a card from your hand and put it onto the rear guard circle. So this is great support for Loris, and will probably replace Liddy in most Loris decks, just because she can get up to some pretty high numbers with all the bouncing and calling back, and she can use bounce effects herself, so she's sort of an all-in-one kind of thing. And this unit also gets the wedding dress art. Next is a grade 2 Prestige Setia. She has Harmony and an act on the Vanguard circle and rear guard circle with a counterblaster 1 and rest when your rear guard's in Harmony. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets +5000 power and a Generation Break 1 skill that allows you to countercharge 1 and soul charge 1 if the attack hits a Vanguard, and you can also then bounce one of your rear guards into your hand. We've seen this resting skill before in this set, and I'm assuming there's going to be some master plan behind this, like the Loris Stride is going to do something towards this, but we haven't had much information of that yet, because there must be a reason why this is a triple R, because at the moment its skill doesn't seem too great, but provided on what other support, this resting skill might come in handy. We also get the wedding art of this character too, and I just hope that writer Kazama does more of this artwork, because his artwork is truly amazing. He's only done one other Vanguard card before, which was Cornflower Flower Maiden Inez, and he's done some Fire Emblem Cypher stuff, but I'm not sure what else he's done. But I just hope we get to see more of this guy's art. Bermuda Triangle get a new quintet wall as well with Duo Create Quill Ilya. She's a Sentinel, and when it's placed on the Guardian Circle, if you have a Duo Vanguard, you may Counterblast 1 and call the top 5 cards of your deck to the Guardian Circle. Choose up to 2 units in your Guardian Circle, and if those units have the same name, you may put all the cards you have chosen to the bottom of your deck. Then if 2 cards were put to the bottom of the deck, you can draw a card. If you don't have anything important to put at the bottom of the deck, you could always put Ilya herself back into the deck, giving you more chance to use Sentinels. And because of this, it might encourage people to use more quintet walls, seeing as you can get them back over and over, which I don't think Bermuda Triangle can currently do with any perfect guards. And as it's a duo, there is a black version and a white version of the artwork. One Stroke Art Carla is a grade 2 with only 8000 power, but she has Harmony, and on the rearguard circle with Generation Break 1, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if she's in Harmony, she gets plus 4000 power until the end of turn. Then she also has a Continuous, where on the Vanguard circle and rearguard circle, if you have a card called Tidal Art Mary in the same column as this unit gets plus 2000 power. Now the second skill also works on your opponent's turn, meaning she becomes a 10k, which makes them harder to hit with their rearguard, and also there's no generation break to the second skill. If you were to make her your Vanguard on turn 2, your opponent might struggle to get some damage through. The card mentioned in Carla's skill was Tidal Art Mary, and she's a grade 1 with only 6000 power, but she has Harmony and an act on the rearguard circle once per turn with a Generation Break 1 and Soul Blast 1. If she is in Harmony, you can give a unit in the same column plus 4000 power. And on the rearguard circle, if you have a One Stroke Art Carla in the same column as this unit, she also gets plus 2000 at all times. So because Mary gets plus 4000 when she attacks, and then you can also give her 4000 with Mary, this might encourage people to use more stands, because those could just get you those little extra bits of damage. And if you have Carla and Mary in the same column and you use the Soul Blast skill, you can get a 26,000 power column with no triggers or any other kind of bonus power they would get other than from themselves. So we get 3 new Prism units, a grade 3, a grade 1 and a grade 0. The first one being brand new Prism Garnet. On the Vanguard circle with a limit break of 4, when she attacks a Vanguard, you can choose 3 cards from your hand and call them to separate rearguard circles. And if 3 cards were called, then she gets the limit break 5 ability, also known as an ultimate break, where she gets an extra drive check. Then on the Vanguard circle, you can counterblast 1 card with Prism in its name when a unit is returned to your hand from rearguard circle to give one of your other units plus 5000 power. The biggest benefit this has over Labrador is that is with the first skill, they don't have to be open rearguard circles like Labrador's has to, so you can call over other rearguards if you need to. Labrador will still most likely be used over this card thanks to her brute strength, but this card can be a bit more of a defensive option with the extra drive check. And we also get a wedding art of this card too. Brand new Prism Emerald is a grade 1, and during the battle phase when this unit is bounced into your hand, if you have a Prism Vanguard, choose 2 of your Prism rearguards and bounce them to your hand. If 2 were bounced, then you can give one of your units plus 5000 power until the end of turn. So this makes a really great setup for Labrador, seeing as you'll need those empty spaces to activate her abilities. What makes this really great is it works on both battle phases, so your opponent's battle phase too. So if you use the new G-Guardian hand-in-hand Leona, who allows you to bounce a card when she is placed on the Guardian circle, then you can give plus 5000 power to your Vanguard on your opponent's turn, which is a huge benefit to have. Then lastly, we have brand new Prism Sapphire, a grade 0 Forerunner, and on the rearguard circle, when a grade 3 or greater with Prism in its name is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may bounce a Prism rearguard to your hand. So this skill won't activate Emeralds because Emerald has to be on the battle phase, but because it's grade 3 or greater with Prism in its original name, its effect does work if you stride something like Legendary Prism Duo Nectaria or Prism Promise Princess Labrador. The only problem you have with this card is it will be a very big target for retiring. Some people will choose to use Koro because Koro bounces herself back to the hand and protects herself. But this one is the one that does the bouncing, so she becomes very useful. But if you're going against Kagero or Narukami or something like that, you gotta just bear in mind that she's probably going to be retired. So that's all the cards for this week. Feel free to leave a comment on what you think of these cards. If you have any questions about the ruling, feel free to ask. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And be sure to check out next week as well to keep up to date with all the new Vanguard cards. I'll see you next time.